Hi, my name is Derek Thomson, and I'm going to be doing my community project on the Walk on Wilshire. Now, what's the deal? In this presentation, I will cover the walk, the problem, the government involved, my interview with the mayor, my research, their solutions and my solutions, and then my proposal and the steps needed to take to get it done. During COVID-19 pandemic, to combat strict social distancing, Wilshire Avenue in downtown Fullerton was fully closed. After the community got its bearings, we then opened it and called it Walk on Wilshire. From 2022 till 2025, Wilshire Avenue was opened and loved by the public. This street was open to pedestrian traffic and helped commerce boom. But now it's closed to pedestrians and it's just a road like before the pandemic. Now, before January of 2025, people used the space for many things like dining, parties, and even some city events. Nearby businesses could rent out space on the street and have a nice outdoor dining experience for the customers, increasing foot traffic. There were some complaints about parking, though there are many smaller parking lots around. Some constituents complained. During events, the parking was so bad, people even park in front of houses. But some others would state that parking is worth it for the increase of business in the area. This change caused a lot of discourse online, with some Reddit users saying, I couldn't get over how seriously they took the fact that most of the businesses hadn't built parklets and used it to justify putting cars back on the street. Another argument for its closure was that it wasn't very developed, with a constituent saying, even the city of Orange reopened Glassell years ago, and that community space was way better than Walk on Wilshire, Glassell being another walkable part of Orange County. Now, some constituents blame it on a corrupt local government. Money talks. Tony Bushela has a lot of money, and Fullerton City Council is easily bought. Now, Tony Bushela being a business owner who supported the end of Walk on Wilshire. Now, for whatever reason that it may be, the street is now used for cars, and some of our most outspoken people are mad about it. Our very own Inside Fullerton paper has a work on it. Rock on the Road. Walk on Wilshire is now closed to pedestrians, and we can no longer traverse this once beloved space. Now, because this problem is a local governmental one, I sat down with the mayor and asked him some questions about his vote on the walk and his stance on it now. Here are some clips from that session. And sorry about the background noise, it was a busy day at the restaurant.
Both. So initially, I did not support uh, outdoor dining past the pandemic. Once the federal government, at the time President Joe Biden, said the pandemic was over, and the federal government declared that these kind of mandates that we had that were in place for public health and public safety, initially wearing masks, being outside, were no longer relevant. I was not supportive of outdoor dining at that point because now you're using public space for private benefit.
Now, Mayor Jung's statements implies that the people did not get use out of Walk on Wilshire, rather that private businesses did. Now, back to the interview.
What feels good to me may not be great government policy. In that case, it felt good to have Walk on Wilshire exist, but it wasn't good policy.
Okay, so the walk is now closed. While efforts have been made to reopen the walk, it all seems in vain. But there's still news coming out about it. I previously mentioned Inside Fullerton. This story came out just this past summer, and the community is active about it too. In community threads, people have talked about something happening in Wilshire just this week. If Wilshire is brought up, the events people know and love will have a home on Wilshire. This is a place for community. Mm, Mayor Jung had an argument for that too, saying this.
Context is how many people actually used it, and it wasn't a lot. Actually, it was less than 30 over the course of the final months of Walk on Wilshire in a week. So that's less than 30 people. You know how many people travel on adjacent parallel streets? Next to Wilshire, like average a day, 2,000 cars.
Now on to research. I couldn't find the numbers stated by the mayor online, but I did see evidence for the contrary. Uh, UCLA put out an article about how much parklets actually help the community, not harm. And I say we should reopen Walk on Wilshire, but we can make it something else. We can make it permanent. We can talk to businesses that are there about what they might do with the street if it opens and get that done. We can set up an event area so that smaller groups can host events, bringing commerce and money to the government to further pay for important community needs. Now, the walk was not only helpful for the community, it was an untapped resource that could help our city build higher than it already is. One Reddit user put it perfectly. I couldn't get over how seriously they took the fact that most of the businesses hadn't built parklets and used that to justify putting cars back on the street. Like, yeah, why would Brewco spend tens of thousands of dollars on permits and construction when you've been telegraphing very clearly for years that you wanted to shut it down? It's a self fulfilling prophecy. So, next step, we keep the pressure. We make petitions, go to meetings, ask questions, because after all, what are we fighting for if it isn't for the community? And here are my sources. Mm, Thank you for walking with me.